For today's segment, we decided to do it a little different. If y'all don't know me, I'm Fitzgerald Lester III. My father is Junior. And, they told me to talk about anything. So I kind of wanted to talk about, some of the world events. There's been a lot of issues of police brutality, and they've really bring up a lot of questions for the black community. Now, the first thing I want to say, using black on black crime as a response to police brutality is foolishness. Because there's crime in every community. There's white on white crime. There's Spanish on Spanish crime. If we want to get real technical, there's animal on animal crime. So whenever something happens and people snap back with, oh, but black people kill black people, that not only does that not fix the problem, it makes the problem worse. Because now you're distracting from the issue. See, a big issue that people forget is that police are supposed to be connected to the community. They're supposed to be our superheroes. But I'm 20 years old and I can only name one police officer I know who I actually would call a friend. They try to socialize us and make it seem like, oh, they're our friends, they're here to help. But if they're not in the community, getting to know the community, and we only see them when they're taking somebody away, well, of course you're going to be mistrustful. Not to mention that now with social media, we're seeing all these pictures and videos of them mistreating people, and they'll laugh about it, they'll joke about it. But that really puts into perspective for you, because it's like, dang, not only has this been happening for years, but other officers know it's happening. And they always like to say all officers aren't bad, they're good officers, but we don't see these officers stepping forward. For those of y'all who play sports, on the basketball team, somebody misses a shot, you tell them about their form, you tell them about their footwork, you tell them, hey, maybe you shouldn't have missed practice. You correct them, and you do it in front of people and you do it privately. But even if the cops are correcting each other privately, when was the last time we saw it in person? When was the last time an officer actually came forward and was like, Officer so-and-so that shot that man was wrong. Officer so-and-so that hit that man with his car is wrong. And that is the problem. See, it's not so much about what the community is doing anymore. Because remember, if the police are there to help the community, then the people helping us should be in order. How are you helping and you're not even in order? You're not properly trained. You're not prepared. Because then you come in and you're adding more mayhem. Especially when, the black community has always been very conscious. We always check ourselves. Black on black crime, we talk about all the time. So all this foolishness about, black people kill black people and y'all just let it go. There have been times, I can't even count how many times, we have people holding church rallies. They're walking around saying, stop dealing drugs, stop shooting each other. They're trying to encourage kids to read, to write, to go to school. And a lot of times too, these kids aren't bad kids, but it's the opportunities around them that force them into this. Let's think about this. How many liquor stores do you see in a better off neighborhood like downtown Manchester? You can't think of many, right? If any. Now think about Hartford, how many liquor stores you can think of. It's the subtle imaging that makes people realize this is all I have, so I might as well become a part of it. Because you become what's around you. Don't get me wrong, there are people who can rise above it. There are people who have role models to show them a different path. But when you're young, it's not as simple as you saying, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a marine biologist. Because you still have to work to get to that point. But a lot of the black youth have so many things in their way that stop them that they stop dreaming. And can you imagine being a kid who stopped dreaming, whose imagination has been stopped, who feels like they don't have a way up or down, they feel like their window is just closed? And then white people, again, through the mass media, will only show the negative images of us. They won't showcase the black youth that are actually in the library, that are tutoring kids in their community, that are actually out here in the summer, for nonprofit, building, helping, doing all this good. They just want to show thugs. They're going to show the shooting. They're going to show the robbings. They're going to show the crashings. And the big misconception is that black people commit more crimes than white people. Well, if you actually go and use Google, because we in the technology age, we all have Google now, and you look, there are so many categories where white people beat us, even though they're more of the populations. You got to remember, statistics and proportions are very important. A lot of people forget that. But like I said, if you look this information up, you look at the numbers and the data and the facts, Black people are not leading in a majority of crime, but a majority of the people you see getting taken in are black people. Why? Because that's imaging. They want other communities to be afraid of us. They want our own community to turn against itself and be like, maybe we are the problem, because then we do their job for them. Now, in situations like this, in Baton Rouge, a father was killed. So now, rather than the whole community coming together, again, back to black on black crime, they have us fighting against each other, saying, oh, he did this, he did that. When in actuality, it's not about us, it's about them. Because no matter what you do, and I'm sure a lot of black kids have heard this speech all their life, you can't take this off. This isn't going anywhere. No amount of fancy clothes, no amount of education, even your location will not change that. And it's unfair, but it's reality. And a lot of black people, a lot of minority people actually in general are working to overcome that. But let's not also act like because we're in a new day and age, those problems have disappeared. Because we've traded racism for diet racism. And if y'all actually follow health facts, diet stuff is always worse. Because now they're not in our faces screaming the N-word and telling us we can't do this, we can't do that. It's more subtle now. They're in the classrooms, sending kids to the principal's office for minor offenses, calling parents, kicking you out of class, making sure your kids feel uncomfortable in the classroom, calling on them last. All these small things that snowball up all the way through school. So they get to high school where now the teachers made them feel like they can't compete. They can't do anything, so they stop raising their hand. The kid loves to read, they're not even opening their textbook. Now they're just doing the one thing they feel like can be their window, which might be a sport, which might be, writing. And, to an extent, that's good, because those are hobbies. But with them limiting the scope of the black youth, they stop them from exploring the whole majority of life. Because don't get me wrong, it's a lot of brothers who are successful through basketball. It's also a lot of brothers who are great doctors. It's a lot of brothers that are great in the rap industry. It's a lot of brothers that are also great activists. But they don't want us to see the full scope of what we can become. And I feel like that's really the biggest tragedy, because a lot of parents don't have access to that. Because when you really think about it, you might be with your kids 3-4 hours a day, but they're in school 7 hours a day, every day. Think about how impactful somebody leaving that kind of imprint on your child is. Just think about how many times you've been annoyed at work. You go to your lunch break, you still fed up, you still tired, you're like, I'll tough through it. Imagine being that fed up for 7 hours. And you as an adult, you have the luxury to get in your car and go home. You have the luxury of complaining to somebody. But kids are also conditioned to respect authority. So there are a lot of kids who, if somebody tells them, an adult figure tells them, you can't do this, they internalize that. They don't question it anymore. And now as a parent, you don't necessarily notice that, because now you work and you want to make sure your kids have food on the table, they have nice clothes, they're prepared for the world, but you can't always peer into the mind. And you don't see how damaging that is until they start acting out, mostly when it's too late. And I think I would just want to end this segment saying that on top of, how important education is, I think it's also important that you sit down and have some of these intimate conversations with your children. As parents, you may feel like you know your child, and you may very well to an extent. But sometimes you just need to be straight to the point and just ask them about their day and listen. Don't critique, don't add to it, just let the kid talk to you. Because there's a lot of stuff who kids sometimes a little timid, they don't always want to share their day. They think they might get in trouble, they might this, might that. Kids do stuff. But it's very important that kids feel like they can trust their parents. So before you go into mom and dad mode and you want to critique them about that time in class they threw the pencil up and they got stuck to the ceiling, maybe they chewed their gum too loud, just remember that you were a kid once, and it's very important that your child feels like they can trust you, because that's the best way to correct anything negative somebody says to your child. If they can go home and say at the end of the day, mom and dad have my back, mom and dad want to see me do good, and mom and dad will encourage me to do good, there's nothing your kid will be unable to do. Thank you.